Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Job Shop USA. My name is Keith and I'm your host. We're in my job shop here this morning. I have a project for one of my customers. I'm building a couple fighting chair bases. Just sometimes you have handicaps or those that can't handle standing up and fishing, and that's beside the point. But I do need to bend 8 pieces on this material here. So I want to talk and share a little bit about my hydraulic press. Now, in my older videos, I have Press Talk 1, Press Talk 2. Actually kind of goes through my video, and I cover my building of it and creating of it. And of course, the closest thing that it resembles is an Interpack 100-ton 70s vintage or 80s vintage hydraulic press. I have a brake, I have a hydraulic hose crimper, I straighten with my hydraulic press, I also remove and press bearings, and I straighten a lot of projects. But I also have a pipe bender, and the pipe bender attachment is one of the first attachments that I made for it, and all the dies, because I used to do pulpits and towers and things like that. This is the attachment here. I had the framework basically for the dies. I had to make all my dies, and then I modified this hydraulic cylinder to be the pusher. And then of course I needed to be able to mount it on the press. So I have a solid shaft coming out here, which this slides onto, or I have a portable arm. Now yesterday I modified this because it used to be angled off of the corner like this over at my old shop. So I cut this free and put it in a straight fashion so I can run it straight off of the arm, and it goes down, locks in there, and it gives me the post right here. And then I can take my bender and the hydraulic hose. You get that out of the way. Put it up here, and then it gives me this motion here. I got the control here. All right, I'm gonna bring you in closer. We're gonna get set up and we're gonna bend some pipe. The first thing I did was, how am I gonna go ahead and control this bender and the hydraulic press? And I was going to put another selector valve or something like that in there, and then I just decided, because I also didn't know if I wanted to have the capabilities of just by the machine, or if I wanted to put this out on a tripod, because now with that mounting point I could actually set it out on the floor if I wanted to bend something out there. Never got to that far, but the first thing I did was go ahead and make quick connects. So we'll go ahead and we'll swap these out. Okay, now my valve here is controlling the bender. We have one die down in here, which is 1/2 inch pipe. This is 3/4, 1 inch, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Every one of these dies I actually made in the K&T with the rotary table and just plain milling. All right. I forget what stock I actually had. I believe it was a piece of round stock aluminum that I started with, because if you look at the back here, anyway, back in the day when I had the time, my extra time before videos, right? So here's a full set. We are going to use the 3/4 die, because that fits our application here. So we'll put these back down underneath here. And we got to pull that one out and put this one in here. Let me go grab an Allen. Okay, we're gonna be out here. This is there we go. And we'll have to grab a pry bar or something that fits the ram pretty tight. Okay. We'll use the ram to actually pull itself off. So I just need to get a block in here, 2 parallel blocks. Normally they slide on and off like that. Hey, that's been on there for a while probably. Anyway. Okay, got the die in there, and these 4 dies, that's what I mean. This frame and these 2 blocks were the only thing that I used out of a bender, and then I made everything else myself. All right, put these in here, and we're gonna go 3/4 right there. Half to 3/4 faces that way, half to 3/4 faces that way. All right, we're gonna bring this back. All right, I left extra material on this because I know that you have to reach out here past center of bend. And I know that the overall length from here to here. All right, I went into my scrap and picked up a piece. This is schedule 80, 3/4 aluminum. Just happens to be exactly the right length, and that's because 2 foot is a common measurement, and I have quite a few of these that are stock or leftover rims from projects. What I want to do is, because I haven't used this in a long period of time, and when you're first setting it up, you need to find out your sweep of your bend, center, how far, you know, we have X amount of distance come out from the radius, center of the pipe, curved down, and we have certain distance underneath this bar to be level. So we'll determine that from our sample. Now we're going to take our sample, we're going to put it in here so that we actually have something to gauge. And we're lined up at this block and this block here. And I'm going to put this flush with the end of this block here. Right there. And we have a center mark on the die. I'm going to bring you in closer so you'll see that. And so we marked center on our pipe that we're going to match up with this. Now we know that each of our pieces will be marked center from this end. So the punch of the die, if this is a good spot to start, that will be marked on all of our pieces. And if we need to go one way or the other, we'll adjust from there. When I made my dies, I marked center and put an arrow, marked them with side. And actually I made these, they're still stamped, turn right 01. So I made these in 2001. So that line there will be what we line up there. So we'll put this in here like this, and then we can line that line up right there. Your angle of the camera is just a little bit off, but if we sweeped it in there, you would see. There we go. Okay. Okay, you'll see this cross line right here. That was an old line that I had drawn on there in relationship to this face right here, and I think that was probably set for a 90-degree bend. I don't know until I get close to it, but I know that when I am bending and I want to repeat, I actually have a line that repeats, and that's my gauge, that surface there. If not, then I sit there and I'll put my measure in here and gauge for the stop. As this comes in here, it's resting against these blocks, and these pins, the blocks will rotate. Just making sure that everything's set in there. Okay, and we're going to push now. Okay, that's right to that line right now. It does not look 90. This is kind of 45, so this actually gives you a line out that extends out past, so you can eyeball this out here. See that line that I'm talking about there? Okay, it's still got to come in more. Release a little bit, springs back. Okay, right now I'm going to draw a line right here because I want to pull it out and look at it. I got to get a tape measure here. Alright, I found my tape and I kind of came over here. Now that butt on the end there, that looked like it was cut pretty square, so I'm just going to use that. 8 and a 1/16, or just a little bit better, and the same. Alright, now we're going to do our measurements over and down, and we'll be able to cut and address each end here. Kind of like having that capability of playing with that dimension afterwards. Alright, let's try our stainless part here. Okay, I'm going to work it from this side here. That's that kind of beauty is having the walk around area. I'm eyeballing this, the same thing with this edge right here. And I'm looking at my line here. Okay, I take it right to the line. I was looking at the spring back on it, but I also, you have a better eyeball from this line right here. Well, let's see how we did. Okay, it bent it just slightly bit tighter, but that's okay. We'll compensate. We'll take it to the turn right stamp just above that line right there, and we'll take a look at that. We can put this in a vise here and put a bar on here and kind of give this a little bit of a bend. It'll match. For a chair leg, it's going to be great. Okay, let's drop in the next one here. And we'll make that run to that position we wanted to. Okay, and then I'm just going to go up to the turn right. All right, right there. Look at it. Spot on. Two different materials, two different wall thicknesses. It's where your variables come in. And our last one. And I'm getting ready to break down my setup here. All my parts are bent. This cam actuated lever here is mentioned in my former videos, and the kit that you can put on the back of here that lets you gradually get that feel and control of the flow instead of having that push button that's, you know, on off type of motion. Gives you better feel. Used to be made by Gresham, and I think now it's made by Parker's. And anyway, there was a link in the comments on those two old videos there. You can find out more about that there. I have lost all my literature and everything else, and it's been a long time. I mean, I built this press in 96, because 97 I assembled it and ran it for the first time in my new location over there at my the Main Street shop, and it's still going strong. So, all right, thanks for visiting Job Shop USA. Get her done.